you look at Georgia's schedule. Just pull up Georgia's schedule for me. Okay. Tell me how many hurdles there are on that schedule. Now, you might say, well, some are maybe a little bit more difficult than others might think. Like, I look at the schedule, and to be honest with you, they should be a really heavy favorite in every single game. Okay, if you disagree, let's go through it. Tennessee Martin, Ball State, South Carolina at their place in Georgia, in Athens, UAB, you're at Auburn. Auburn's still at this point trying to rebuild. You host Kentucky, who you match up great against. You're at Vanderbilt. You have Georgia and Florida. They're in Jacksonville on October 28th. Missouri comes to you. You have Ole Miss, which is in Athens. You go on the road to Tennessee, and then you have the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the Rambling Wreck there, in the final game of the regular season. That'll be in Atlanta at Dodd Stadium. But you look at that, how many games are going to be a significant test for the Bulldogs? 1.5, maybe? Okay, well, maybe you catch South Carolina on the wrong day. Maybe you catch a Florida team that's for some reason surprising everybody and they're hot at the end of October. But I think all of us view the SEC East, and we view it as kind of 1, Georgia, big gap, 2, Tennessee. And being on the road at the Tennessee Volunteers, I do think will be by far the toughest test of the season for the Georgia Bulldogs. If they're trying to get to 3 straight, and let's say Tennessee's rolling, let's say Tennessee's hot. Remember, you lose a game in the division, then you're not just 1 game behind, but you're actually a game and a half behind because of the tiebreaker that the team you lost to has. They have the tiebreaker in the head-to-head. So you think about a team last year like LSU beating Alabama. They had a game and a half lead over the Tide. LSU ultimately finished with 3 losses, Alabama with 2. Didn't matter. LSU still got to the championship game because they had the same amount of SEC losses, 2, as Alabama did. So if they lose, and let's say Tennessee catches fire, and when we fast forward and Tennessee's sitting at 11-1, Georgia's at 11-1, their only loss is to Tennessee. Tennessee loses to Florida, whoever. Well, let's say Tennessee loses to Alabama, and they're at 11-1. Guess what? The tiebreaker goes to Tennessee. Doesn't mean Georgia won't still potentially get to the playoff. We know that that's a possibility, but that is a massive one. Knowing that's likely the only roadblock in the way for the Georgia Bulldogs might be one that they have circled even here in May.